There we go. All right. Whoops. Well, sometimes it happens. Sometimes you're a couple minutes late because things happen. And 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Good morning, Stacy. Today is Wednesday, November 20th, 2019. Wait, is it 20th or 19th? 20th. No, November 20th, 2019. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. I was up late celebrating a friend's birthday, and I just didn't get moving quickly this morning. It happens. I am either one of those people who is like 5 minutes late or 20 minutes early. I struggle to be on time with many things. Usually with the show, I'm like spot on, right? Like I'm usually sitting here 1 to 2 minutes before we go live, and I'm ready to go. But sometimes it just doesn't work out. As I've always said, with everything from Whistlekick, I'm happy to refund your money. Oh wait, this show's free. All right, if you haven't already, make sure now or after the episode you sign up for the newsletter. Do it. We've got some new stuff coming out for Christmas, and you're gonna want to see it. Thank you. I'll bring that up. So Wesley asked what I'm drinking. It's that same Starbucks Italian roast from that like a month ago I started drinking because it was on sale. So I bought 2 bags because I was dumb. And I've gotten used to it, which I'm disappointed about. Because that makes me wonder, what am I going to think of other coffee now? If I've gotten used to this stuff that I did not enjoy. And Wesley's bringing up the 30% off. So here's what we're doing. And I'd been wondering about what to do about this for months. If you're on Facebook, you've likely seen someone with a little diamond icon next to their name, or maybe you're part of some page, some group, and you've received the top fan designation, which sounds so much more impressive than it is. And I was looking into it thinking at some point Facebook's going to give us the ability to do something for these people. And no, they haven't. But those top fans come from or are designated by to people who are engaging with that page a lot. And I said, what do we do? So I kicked it around with our social team, and what we're doing is once a month, we're going to send discounts to the top fans. And so we'll send out a 30% coupon to everybody who's a top fan monthly. And then one of those people will get a code for a single item at 50% off. Because, well, we want to. It makes sense in business to do things for customer retention, for the people who are already your biggest fans. And I mean that term beyond the way Facebook's using it. In marketing speak, we're talking about retention. And retention is far less expensive than new customer acquisition. Numbers vary, but the number I like to use is 13 times. It costs 13 times more to get a new customer than to keep an old one. So that 50% off, are we going to lose money on that person? Yep. Our margins are not that high. The 30% off people will lose money? Depends on what they buy. Probably not. But if it makes them happy and they're buying new Whistlekick stuff and they're showing it off to their friends, then it's worthwhile, isn't it? because it keeps them around. And maybe it'll encourage other people when they see this, because we're going to remind everybody once a month that we've done this. Maybe it'll encourage people to engage more, because maybe they'll want to get those discounts. We'll see. We're trying stuff. Always trying stuff. Never know what's going to work. What else was yesterday? Oh, yesterday was a complete weird day. So, as routine listeners to this show know, I still do some consulting. I do like that much IT consulting. I have like 3 people, 3 businesses, 2 businesses, a 1-person business, a homeowner, and the business that has an office locally and in Costa Rica. You may remember I went to Costa Rica in June. And looking outside at the snow, I should be in Costa Rica again. I'm sure Peggy would agree. But the 1-person office sent me a text at like 8 and said, my internet is still down. They had messaged me on Monday, say, internet's down. I said, well, let's give it overnight. It's the end of the day. It's probably something with the provider, and they'll fix it. Oh, they didn't fix it. So he's like, help. So I went, all right. I had a podcast interview at 2, but I figured it wouldn't be that big of a deal. One of the pieces of gear died, and unbeknownst to me, one of the other pieces of gear tried to fix things. It reconfigured itself and completely caused chaos because I'd never seen that before. So it set me on a wild goose chase. 4 hours later, it was done, and I was back home to do the interview. And then as soon as I was done, I had to go deal with stuff at the bank. So one of those days where I didn't get a lot done. I made some money, but I didn't get stuff done. Well, today, I'm going to try to remedy that. Fortunately, I don't have a lot going on this week, but I am going to try and get everything done so I can take Friday off. Because that's one of my goals. And when I say take Friday off, I mean wake up, check the email, obviously do this show, and then have the rest of the day to myself. It's a really nice feeling. I don't get to do it often. But it feels lazy, it feels luxurious. But since tasks expand to the time available, might as well, right? Anything else going on that I'll let you guys know about? I don't think so. No, let's get into these questions. And if you want to ask a question, drop it below. And wow. Wow, Frank, these are great. Okay. Whoo. Question 1. Is vaping healthier than smoking regular cigarettes? Okay, boom. Overall, if we were to take the overall health effects of everyone who is using a vaporizer to inhale things and compare that to cigarettes, yes, I would say so. Here's why I say so. For the last however many decades, cigarettes have been manufactured to be horrible and addictive and yada yada, all of these things. While some companies are releasing product that is bad, that is contaminated, and while there are people buying and making their own cartridges, vape cartridges, that are contaminated or low grade and thus have a lot of metal in them, a huge number of people that are vaping are ingesting some artificial flavor, which is not that far off from what you're going to see in a lot of food. Not that it's good for you, but uh, some kind of carrier oil, some kind of carrier liquid, MCT oil, etc., and some kind of additive like nicotine. The public has a skewed perception of what's really going on with this because a few people have died. And from the little bit of research that I've done, those people that have died were not using major brand vape cartridges. I have some knowledge of this because I spent some time working. I was the marketing manager for a CBD company. It was one of my gigs. I did that for not quite a year, 2018 into 2019. And this company made CBD vape cartridges, so I got to learn that how all that worked. The numbers are pretty obvious. Now, what are the long-term health effects? We can't be sure. But for everything that you can point at in a vape cartridge and say, this is bad, you're going to find an equivalent, maybe even an identical thing in a cigarette. If you want to be healthy, you shouldn't be doing either. But there are plenty of people out there who are using vaping to get off of cigarettes. Of course, there are plenty of people who are vaping because it looks cool or whatever, you know, and I say that sarcastically. But there are also vaporizers where you just put stuff in. You know, you can medical marijuana is a real thing. I'm not going to dig into that part of it too much. You know, that can be kind of controversial, and that's not what this show's about. But bottom line, I would say if I had to put my money on cigarettes or vaping as being healthier, I'd put all of it on the vaping overall. And I'm not one to usually jump into conspiracy theories, but there are a lot of tobacco lobbyists out there. Vaping is one of the few things, one of the few sins, right? That the government permits and regulates heavily. And those people selling the vape stuff are not the people who own the tobacco stuff. Is the legislation affecting vaping coincidence? I'm gonna guess not. I'm gonna guess that if we dug into the books for tobacco companies, we would see that vaping has had a negative impact on them. Moving on. What form of silat did you practice? It wasn't silat. Silat's Indonesian, but the Filipino martial arts that I've engaged in is eskrima. I'll be honest, I am not knowledgeable enough to be able to differentiate between eskrima and Kali and some of the other Filipino styles that honestly to me are very similar. And I think you could make a similar unqualified observation about Okinawan martial arts or Korean martial arts or mainland Japanese martial arts or styles of Kung Fu. And actually I spent some time training last night with my instructor, Shihan Earl. We were working through some stuff in his garage, and it was a lot of fun. And it was primarily empty-hand defense of someone attacking with a stick and a knife, and working through some things that I really enjoyed. I'm getting better at. And he told me after that some of the stuff that we were working on were things he was playing with that he hadn't taught before, that he was working out. And I love getting into that experimental stuff because it means that we get to have a discussion. We're having a dialogue. and I really enjoy talking about martial arts and understanding the concepts. Probably no surprise to any of you. I nerd out on this stuff. My ability to understand martial arts greatly enhances my ability to practice martial arts. I've been training long enough now that if there's not a mental component to what I'm doing, I don't have much fun. I mean, yeah, I will drill. I have no problem, going up and down the floor, throwing kicks, throwing whatever. But I want some balance of that with, okay, here's a thing that we're going to work with that'll maybe get you out of your comfort zone or get you to look at things differently. The drills that I do, the drills that I teach, the sort of games that I invent, that I work with people on, are all from that perspective. How do I help you take what you know, what you already know you should be doing? How do I get you closer to that? There's one drill that we didn't do that I had designed for training day that I came up with like 6 months ago that I still have not worked with anybody on. I'm pretty sure it's going to work. And I'm excited to teach it. But I was the alternate at training day, and everybody showed up, and all the sessions went well, and there was no need for an alternate instructor, so I didn't teach it. I taught the last 3 years. I rotated people out, except for Laura. Laura's taught every year. But I'll teach again next year. And I'm actually in conversation with a couple people about teaching some seminars at their school, which would involve training, or I'm sorry, traveling, and that's fine. At this point, if I can break even on it with the travel, I'm willing to do it, because I think it'd be fun. If you get a dog, will it be a rescue dog? Yes. Yes, yes. In fact, I sent a message about a dog yesterday. Ooh. I'm excited. We'll see what happens. And there's a message back from the place. Maybe I'll go visit the dog today. I don't know. Who knows? It's going to come down to whether I think the energy level is going to work for my life and for the cat. Gabe's asking, how far am I willing to travel to teach? I will travel as far as anyone wants me to go. Of course, the farther I go, the more the expenses compound. If I have to jump on a flight, it gets a lot more expensive. There are a lot of people out there teaching seminars at, several $1,000s. And okay, so here's the thing. Seminars are an interesting thing. I'm not rant. Seminars are an interesting thing because the majority, there are two kinds of seminars. There are people who are coming in who are really working with you, teaching great information and helping you get better. And then there are people who are leveraging their celebrity to get you into the room, and they may or may not be teaching you good things. And then there are people who are teaching you great things, and you're getting better, and they're also a celebrity. And the only person I've experienced that I can put in that group is Bill Wallace. There aren't a whole lot of people who don't have some manner of celebrity traveling around doing seminars, because who's going to go? You go to a random martial arts school, put up a poster with my face and say, Jeremy Lesniak's going to be here on Saturday from 2 to 5 to teach us. Admission, $20. Most people are going to go, I don't know who that guy is. I'm not coming. As much as I've built some reputation for what we do at Whistlekick, most people don't know me. I haven't been in movies. I'm not a world champion at anything. I'm a guy who hosts a podcast and sells you some shirts and some gear. I think I'm a good teacher. I think I have things that most people enjoy learning. At least that's the feedback I get when I do teach. But it's hard to get people to come to seminars. It's even hard to get people to come to a Bill Wallace seminar. He's known. He's well known. He's probably the best known person teaching. And it's hard even to get people to come to his seminars. So I don't think that's ever going to be a big thing, but it's something I'd like to learn more about. And how do you learn? By doing it. I know I can deliver the information. I know that people will benefit from my time. And that's why I want to do it. So if I can learn and maybe learn some things about how that works better, so I can test some things, I can improve it, and then I can share that with others, because what would that do? It would help martial artists. It helps the martial arts industry, and that's what we're all about. Maybe I'd end up writing a book about it. How to, how to make money teaching martial arts seminars. I don't know what there is to know. I know you got to get people who want to bring you in, and yeah. So that's that. All right. I'm going to go. Thanks for watching. If you want to ask a question, drop it below. If you have not subscribed, why not? Subscribe. Turn on notifications. This show goes live every weekday morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern. Catch it later in your podcast feed. Episodes of Martial Arts Radio come out Monday and Thursday. Today's Wednesday. Homework time. Yesterday, I think I asked you to come up with one thing that you could change, something small that would impact your health. Today, I want you to come up with one small thing that would impact your finances. Coming out of left field on this one, right? Completely unrelated to anything we talked about. But here's the thing. We get into these habits with our finances where things are just kind of on autopilot. I sat down, was prompted by a realization that I had not taken a good look at my finances. This was a couple months ago. And I looked through my checking account and my credit card charges and said, what are all the things going on here? And I went through, I canceled several things because I really didn't need them. And I looked at what are better options, what are cheaper options. I saved half on my car insurance. It's not like I was with some fly-by-night insurance company. For some random reason, Geico was half the price of Progressive. I saved $50 a month. It's not a huge amount of money, but I'll take it. And so if you spend a few minutes today just taking stock of where your money's at and figure out, hey, what could I do different? I bet you can find one thing in there that'll put a few bucks back in your pocket. Why not? I hope you have a great day. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care.